I found a German Shepherd puppy shaking on the frozen sidewalk, as if his life meant nothing. It was broad daylight in Chicago, below zero, and yet nobody stopped. Curled against the wall, his tiny body trembled so violently I could hear his teeth clattering. One paw twisted awkwardly, his eyes raw from crying. Still, when I stepped closer, he lifted his head as if to beg, "Please don't leave me too." I froze, not because of the cold, though it bit through my coat, but because of that look, that unbearable, silent plea. His ribs pressed sharp against his skin, his fur matted with road salt and something darker. I swear I could see frost clinging to his eyelashes. He wasn't just cold, he was losing his fight. People passed by with coffee cups in hand, parkas, shopping bags, Bluetooth calls, too busy for a second glance. A couple even stepped around him without pausing. One man muttered, "Just a stray." Like that explained everything. Like that made it okay. I stood there, unsure what to do. I wasn't a rescuer. I wasn't trained for this. I was just a 42-year-old guy, Michael Delaney, walking back from the corner store with bread and eggs. But something inside me cracked wide open. The puppy didn't move when I crouched. He didn't bark, didn't growl. He just stared, his breath rising in ragged little clouds. I could see the pain in the way he held his leg off the ground, paw curled inward like it didn't belong to him anymore. Someone, or something, had hurt him and left him like garbage. I took off my scarf and slowly laid it near him. He flinched, barely, but didn't run. I tried not to cry. I really did, but my throat tightened as I watched this tiny creature, too broken to even hope. This German Shepherd puppy was maybe 4 or 5 months old, still had those big, clumsy paws, still had the face of someone who wanted to trust, who remembered love, even if just barely. A gust of wind blew sharp through the alley, lifting bits of paper and grit, and he whimpered, his body curled tighter. My hands itched to grab him, to scoop him up and run, but I didn't, not yet. He wasn't ready, and honestly, neither was I. So I sat down on the icy sidewalk a few feet away and just waited. He didn't take his eyes off me, not for a second. Every tiny movement I made sent a shiver through his fragile body, as if he was bracing for something terrible. I'd seen fear before, but never like this. This wasn't just fear of pain. This was fear of people, the kind that takes root deep and stays. I kept my distance, speaking low, just enough to let him hear my voice. "Hey, buddy, it's okay now, you're not alone." His ears twitched, barely. That was something. Maybe he still understood kindness. The cold was unforgiving. I shifted on the concrete, feeling it seep through my jeans and into my bones. But I wasn't going anywhere. I had nowhere more important to be than right there, beside him. A German Shepherd puppy, tossed aside like trash, trying to survive in a world that didn't seem to care. The pads of his paws were cracked and raw. Dried blood stained the edges of his claws. He'd tried to move, maybe crawl somewhere safe, but hadn't made it far. I wanted to scream, at someone, at anyone, at the city, at the people who stepped over him, at whoever did this to him. How do you leave a baby like this in the snow? How do you look into those eyes and walk away? "Leif," I said suddenly, surprising myself. "You look like a leaf." I don't know why the name came to me. Maybe because it meant something about life, about surviving. Maybe because he looked like he was holding on by a thread. And somehow, he didn't flinch at the name. His eyes stayed on me, steady, studying, waiting. A kid on a scooter rolled past, music blaring from his phone. The puppy flinched so hard he nearly collapsed on his side. My chest twisted. I slid my hand slowly across the ground, inch by inch, palm open. "I won't hurt you, Leif, I swear." He didn't move, didn't pull away, just stared at my hand like it was foreign, dangerous. And yet, his nose twitched. He was deciding. For a moment, I saw it. Just a flicker. Not trust, not yet, but recognition. A tiny spark that whispered, maybe not everyone is cruel. I stayed there, frozen to the sidewalk, hand outstretched, heartbeat pounding like a drum, praying he'd let me try. Then his body jerked violently, tremors racking him harder than before. His teeth clattered against each other in that hollow clack 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 that cut straight through me. God, he was freezing. Panic rose like a wave. I was already too late. I'd waited too long. "I'm sorry, Little guy, I whispered, sliding closer. I have to pick you up now. I know it'll hurt, but I need to get you out of this. He whimpered when I touched him, a soft, broken sound that shattered me. His tiny frame tensed in my arms, back legs twitching, front paw limp. But then, something happened. He pressed into me. Not a struggle, not a squirm, just pressure. His head sank into the crook of my elbow, and I felt the tip of his nose nuzzle against my hand. I didn't know if it was me he was clinging to, or just the warmth, but it didn't matter. He stayed. I stood up slowly, shielding him from the wind with my coat. For a second, I almost turned toward my apartment, just a few blocks away. But no, I couldn't risk it. I needed to know if his leg was broken, if he had internal injuries, if he could even survive the night. Still cradling him, I fumbled my phone out with one stiff hand, pulling up Google Maps. Vet near me. 10 minutes away. 10 minutes that suddenly felt like forever. I adjusted Leif in my arms, tucked the scarf tighter around him, and started walking. Every step, I whispered. Hang in there, buddy, just a few more blocks. You're doing so good. We're going to get you help, okay? He didn't respond. Not really, but he didn't fight me either. His breath came shallow and warm against my chest. His heartbeat raced, wild and desperate, but it was there, still fighting. We turned the corner. The sign came into view. 10 minutes had never felt so long. Don't you dare give up on me now, little one, I whispered as I pushed the clinic door open with my shoulder. A rush of warm air hit us. Leif stirred weakly in my arms. The receptionist looked up, eyes widening. We'll take him right now, she said. No hesitation, no questions, no paperwork, just action. This wasn't doubt, it wasn't hesitation. It was adrenaline, relief, something close to hope. Leif was bundled gently into a soft fleece blanket, the kind that smelled of antiseptic and safety. I tucked him into my arms like he was made of glass, and maybe he was, in a way, so fragile, so new to the idea that people might actually mean comfort. Outside, the cold bit at my skin, but I didn't care. I held him close as we stepped into the backseat of the car. He didn't cry, he didn't panic. He just curled against me, eyes fluttering shut as we drove through the quiet streets of Chicago. When we pulled into the driveway, the porch lights were already glowing warm against the snow. My wife opened the door before I even knocked. She must have been watching from the window. Her face softened the moment she saw him. Michael, she whispered, he's so small. Our 8-year-old son, Jacob, peeked out from behind her. He stepped forward cautiously, eyes wide, clutching the edge of his pajama sleeve. That's the puppy. His name is Leif, I said, kneeling to let them see. He's been through a lot, so we have to be gentle, kind. Jacob nodded like I'd just given him the most serious mission of his life. I can do that, he whispered, then, softer. Hi, Leif. Leif didn't flinch, he didn't cower, he blinked slowly, his head still resting against my chest, and let out the faintest sigh, almost like he knew he was finally safe. We brought him inside and set him gently on a blanket near the fireplace. My wife brought out a Starbucks paper cup with warm broth she'd prepared, and the smell made Leif lift his nose just a little. It wasn't much, but he licked it, his first taste of warmth that wasn't just survival, it was care. We sat around him on the floor. No one said much. We just watched him, breathed with him, and let the room fill with something we hadn't felt in a long time, peace. He was home. That first night was quiet until it wasn't. We set up a little bed for Leif near the foot of ours, lined with towels and soft blankets. Jacob brought one of his old stuffed animals and placed it gently beside him, whispering, he won't be scared if he has a friend. At first, Leif slept hard, his breathing shallow but steady, wrapped up like a tiny bundle of fur and bandages. I sat on the edge of the bed for what felt like an hour, just watching his chest rise and fall. Come to bed, Michael, my wife said softly, tugging at my sleeve. He's okay now. But around 2 a.m., I heard it, a whimper, then a cracked little cry, not loud, but enough to slice straight through the dark. Leif was thrashing in his sleep, not violently, just twitching, legs jerking, head turning from side to side. His eyes stayed closed, but his face twisted with something I knew too well, fear. I dropped to the floor beside him, placing my hand gently on his side. Hey, shush, buddy, it's okay, you're safe now. He jolted awake, eyes wide and wild. For a moment, I wasn't sure he recognized me. His breath came in fast gasps like he'd been running for miles. I stayed perfectly still, hand resting on his trembling body. He didn't pull away. Instead, he pressed his face into my wrist and let out a long, exhausted sigh. It was terrifying to see how deep his wounds went. Not his leg, not the frostbite, but the invisible scars, the kind no vet could fix. So I lay down on the floor next to him, blanket wrapped around us both, and stayed there all night, because honestly, I was scared for him, scared that his little heart might break under the weight of what he'd been through. All night, I whispered the same thing. You're not alone anymore, Leif. I've got you now. By dawn, his breathing slowed, his body relaxed against mine, and I think, for the first time, he started to believe me.
If this tale moved you, if you felt the tension, the heartbreak, and the triumph, please support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more thrilling, emotional, and inspiring stories your way. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think. Do you believe dogs have an extraordinary sixth sense? Share your thoughts and personal stories with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.